Cleveland Rockers are coming back. Cleveland is getting back into the WNBA game.
Yes, and they'll be playing at Rock Arena.
It's Rocket Arena, right? I think
No,
it's the new name.
no, just Rock Arena.
Rock Arena? What the hell?
I know. But yes, it sounds 2028.
No, I was right. It is Rocket Arena.
I thought it was Rock.
No, Rocket.
What?
Yes. They just took Morgan's Fieldhouse and turned it into Rocket Arena.
Oh, okay, Rocket Arena. I'm surprised the Houston Rockets didn't have a problem with that. But anyway, getting back to the Cleveland Rockers, yes, it does sound like they are coming back. And they will be joining some of the newer teams like the Golden State Valkyries, who are going to be starting this season. You've got the Toronto Tempo coming in. You got Portland coming back. It sounds, like I said, it sounds like Cleveland is coming back. And there's been a few other trademarks. So it sounds like the WNBA does want to grow. And I'm very excited about this because I was at the national championship last year. And whether it was because of Caitlin Clark or not, that atmosphere for South Carolina versus Iowa was amazing. I absolutely loved it. It was one of the greatest days of my life. And so to know that in 2028, Cleveland is going to be getting a WNBA team, and you could have the opportunity to see Caitlin Clark, playing for the Indiana Fever. It's amazing. Like Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, Kelsey Plum, Brittany Griner, Nafisa Collier for the Minnesota Lynx, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Paige Beckers is going to get drafted number 1 overall by the Dallas Wings. So you got her coming in. Juju Watkins out at USC. She's going to be drafted. There's another star coming to the WNBA. So you got all of these big names, and these fan bases are coming up. You know what I wonder? Like, we talk about how some cities have the Big Four and some don't, which the Big Four is NBA, MLB, NFL, and NHL. I wonder if it could get to the point where it becomes the Big Five. Could it be that the WNBA, not because of how many teams they get, but because of the growth in popularity, could it be that it changes from the Big Four to the Big Five?
It very well could be. I think it really depends on the success that obviously Caitlin Clark has over her career in the Indiana Fever. She's the big driver behind all of it, whether all the WNBA players like it or not. College basketball, women's, and the WNBA came back to prominence, and all of these expansions are happening because of one woman, and her name is Caitlin Clark, and she plays for the Indiana Fever. When I heard the news, I thought of you immediately.
Thanks.
I thought of a lot of people who I know pay a lot of attention to this sort of stuff. They've wanted the WNBA team for a long time. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit indifferent about it. I'm excited for the city. I think it's a good thing. I think it will help. The now Rocket Arena is sort of year long because the WNBA does sort of play out of the way when it's sort of the NBA off season a little bit. I know they obviously start their season in July. They do end their season in October. I'm just wondering how, listen, the Cleveland market we know is an NFL first market. It's an NBA market second, and the baseball market is a distant third. I am a little bit worried about how the local coverage of this WNBA team of the Rockers is going to be, because I feel like if they're not a good team right out of the gate, I don't know how successful it's going to be, because I always feel like they have to be successful to be worthwhile in this city because of the other teams in the city.
Yeah, But the thing with like the WNBA season is they're only really competing with Major League Baseball,
They are.
which for the most part, I would say WNBA, because Major League Baseball is kind of stuck in a time warp a little bit. I would still say that, even despite some of the changes they've made. I would say the WNBA has the edge over.
Well, remember we did this topic last year when I asked you, is it possible that the WNBA could one day take over Major League Baseball? We both said it's possible. Um, I just think I don't know. Like baseball did do a really good job getting some of their younger fans involved, and yes, we will rock you, Grandizer. I see that. Um, I think Cleveland, like it's a good market. I think our fans are going to support it. I don't want them to be coming in like an expansion team where they're sort of building the ground up. I think they have to come right out of the gate strong.
And I understand that perspective. Um, I I also understand why they're bringing back the Rockers name,
Yeah,
because like that's what everybody knows and all that. But my issue with Cleveland in general is I feel like we play on the rock and roll stuff too much. Like, okay, the 2022 All Star game, that was an exception. But you look at, like, again, not to bring politics up, but when we hosted the 2016 Republican National Convention,
yep,
the logo was an electric guitar. When we hosted the 2019 MLB All Star game, it was a guitar, basically.
yeah,
Then we have the the rockers again playing off of the rock and roll stuff, and I'm sure there's other examples I'm missing, but it's just like I understand why they brought back the name rockers because again that's what everybody is familiar with and all
yeah,
that, but at the same time I feel like you could have come up with something different that didn't have to do with rock and roll and all that. For example, like you got the Cleveland Monsters, our minor league hockey team. That that's playing off of a mythological creature in Lake Erie. Like
yeah.
it's that has nothing to do with rock and roll stuff.
And again, I think Cleveland has shown their ability to support sports teams in the past. I am glad for the Rocket Arena staff now because basically they're going to be staffed all year long. I mean,
Yep.
we're
Thank
gonna
you
go,
very much.
we're gonna go from the NBA in January to May. You know, even June potentially. The NBA, does if the Cavs do make the finals, even right into the WNBA, then right back into Monsters and Cavs season. So
Yeah, that is true.